Today we are making a video on Parrot OS 5.3. So I choose the Parrot Security version. There is also another edition which is a Parrot Home, Parrot OS Home. So here is the boot menu of a Parrot OS. So there are some options in the boot menu like advanced mode. So these are all the advanced mode options, and here is a fail-safe mode options. So you can do it on your own. These are all the available options. So let's quickly boot it in a live boot by clicking on a try or install Parrot OS 5.3, and it's going to take a maximum of 1 minute or 30 to 40 seconds because that's the casual timing of every Linux distro, which takes that much of time to load up the desktop layout. So I'm running it on a virtualization which is a VMware with 80 GB of hard disk, 4 GB of RAM, and with 2 processors running right now. So again, it's always a good option to boot it in a live boot. Even if you downloaded the latest version of the Linux distro, so always a good option to boot it in a live boot first and go with the installation after using up to like 2 to 3 hours. If you don't find anything like a bugs or errors in the live boot for 2 to 3 hours, go with the installation. If you find anything, it's always a good option to avoid this thing. Don't just download and use the installation thing, because it's going to ruin your PC. That's the tip from me. I don't want you to ruin your PC. That's the reason I'm going to say it again and again. Even it's annoying for you, I'm going to say it again because I don't want you to ruin your PC. So as you can see, the desktop layout is almost completely loaded. This is the latest version of Parrot OS 5.3. I think it was released like 1 day or 2 days back. I properly don't know. Maybe today. I didn't see the URL or the notification. So this is the latest ISO file released. There are also 2 options available, which is a security edition, this one, and the home edition. So I already mentioned that. So let's quickly change the resolution because it's look pretty odd. So I'm running it on a virtual machine which is a VMware, so it automatically changes the display resolution. So let's change the desktop background because the wallpaper looks pretty odd. It loaded up completely automatically, so there is no need to change the wallpaper right now. As you can see, there is a bit of delay. That's the reason I mentioned you to boot it in a live boot first and go with the installation later. So let's quickly and let's open the system monitor or a task manager, because we need to know how much of resources are consuming before opening the apps. And I'm going to show you the system monitor again at the end of the video, so you should be having an exact number of resources consuming before and after. So you should be seeing the RAM and CPU usage again at the end of the video. So you should be the one to judge this Linux distro to use or not. It completely depends on you. So I'm going to open the system monitor again at the end of the video after running the desktop features, applications, all the things. So here is this memory right now. It's almost 1 GB of RAM right now, and the CPU is almost under 25%. The CPU is also going good. Let's run it until 60 seconds, which is 1 minute. So let's check out the system monitor version, which is 1.24.1. So try to ignore the network because you don't need to worry about the network. You just need to worry about the CPU and the RAM usage, because those are the important things for you. Because if you have a low-end PC, you should be seeing these resources, and if you want, you can use it or not. It completely gives you the option to choose this Linux distro or not. So the CPU is almost under 20 to 25%. So the RAM is 1 GB. So these are all the some of the processors running right now, and this is the system information. Version is of 5.3 Electro era, 64-bit architecture, and kernel version is a 6.1.0, and desktop environment is a MAT 1.24.1, and this is my hardware of a CPU. So let's quickly close this thing and open the terminal, and let's try to grab some of the information of the distro. So let's quickly type in the command, which is inxside-sv8. This is the command which will grab the complete distro information. So Try to ignore the keyboard sound and mouse sound and some of the background sound, because some of the construction and kids also screaming randomly, not continuously. So the system is a host and a Parrot OS. Kernel version is this one, which I already mentioned. It's a 64-bit architecture. Compiler GCC version is here, and distro is here, which is 5.3. It's based on Debian Parrot. LightDM version is here. Mac desktop environment version is here. WM Marco version is also here. So I'm running it on a VMware, so it already mentioned here as a VMware. BIOS Linux version is here. RAM is also here, as you can see. CPU information is here. If you want to see, you can pause the video and check that out. So the graphics, VMWGFX version is a 2.20. So let's scroll it down. Display is a X11, server is a XORG version 1.20.11. Compositor Marco version is a 1.24.1. So these are all the display resolutions or a monitor resolutions available right now. And API OpenGL version is a 4.1. Mesa is a 20.3.5. So Pulse Audio version is a 14.2, and Pipewire version is a 0.3.65. So let's scroll it down, and I'm using a 80 GB of hard disk, which I already mentioned in the beginning of the video for the VMware. So these are all the informations. If you want to check that out, you can check that out. Processors running right now are 281. Uptime is a 4 minutes. Wake-ups is a 21. Init systemd version is a 252. And GCC version already mentioned. Clang version is 11.0.1-2. Shell Bash version is 5.1.4. INXI version is 3.3.25. So let's type in some of the command which are neofetch. Neofetch is here. It takes a few seconds to completely load up. So let's type in another command, which is a cat etc/issue. So it's a Parrot OS 5.3. Let's type in the command, which is INXI. These are all the same information as the above, but in a short form. Let's type in INXI-b. So let's type in another command, which is INXI-G. Click on enter. So these are all the information. Let's type in htop. So 804 MB, CPU is here, tasks are 74. So these are all the information available. We completely grabbed every information of the distro. So let's quickly open the web browser or an internet browser or a Firefox web browser, which is a default browser for the Parrot Linux. And let me show you how to download the Parrot OS from their website, and I'm going to show you the website. Again, it's going to take like a 10 to 15 seconds to load up the desktop layout. Try to ignore the kids noise in the background. People and kids are going crazy around my neighborhood. I don't know why. It's always a problem with them. Whatever you make the video, it's going to always a problem. They're going to make a lot of noise. So let's ignore that thing and go with the download things. So right now there is a 5.2. So let's quickly click on download. I'm going to show you the 5.3 version. It says 5.2, but let's I downloaded it from the source force, so let's type in, not the source force, I downloaded it from the DistroWatch. So let's type in the URL or the search term of a DistroWatch. I'm using a VPN, so it's going to be a bit slow. So instead of waiting, let's check out the version of the Firefox. So the version is a 102, which is an old version. The latest version is around like a 112 or 113. And the CPU is also going crazy around here, as you can see. So there is a 5.3 version, as you can see here. So let's quickly copy the link and close the DistroWatch. So let's paste it here. So this is the URL or the link to download the 5.3. ISO file. So let's quickly enter this thing, and you should be having your download of Parrot Security 5.3, as you can see. Let's quickly save it. The file size is around like 4.9 GB, which is almost a 5 GB. So remember this thing, if you have a limited internet connection, it's almost a 5 GB, so it's clearly up to you to download or not. So let's close this thing and remove this link and click this. So these are the available options of a 5.3. If you remove this 5.3 and click on enter, so these are all the available options or the parent directory of the Parrot OS, Orin OS, everything here. So these are the 5.3 version. You can download anything you want here. So if you want a home edition, there is also a home edition here. So let's change this thing. So here are the options: home, security. So you can choose anything. So this is a tip from me. They don't give the URL in the official website, so I copied from the DistroWatch. So it was available in the DistroWatch, so I'm making it in the I downloaded it from this DistroWatch and making the video. So this is the downloading process. So let's quickly try to open the installer, and I'm going to show you the installation process or the installation tutorial. So here is a Calamarus installer. Again, this is the same procedure or a same installation step in every Linux distro. There is nothing complicated in here. The Calamarus installer is a 3.2.36 for a Parrot OS 5.3 Electro era. First, you need to choose your language. There are plenty of languages available. Click on next. Always check the version while downloading and installing, because you need to know what the version you are downloading or installing. So be careful that, and that's a tip from me. So I'm using a VPN, so it's saying as a New York. Let's go to Los Angeles. You can choose the location from here, or you can choose the drop down menu. You don't need to provide your actual location, you can give any location you want. So click on next, and there is also customization options here. You can customize it on your own if you want. So let's click on next. So this is a keyboard option. You can choose your keyboard. For me, it automatically chooses the generic 105 key PC International. So I'm going to choose English US and the default. You can choose any languages here. There's plenty of languages. Click on next. And here is the main thing, and you need to be very careful while choosing this option because it's a partition option. It's going to delete the current operating system if you don't know what you're doing here. So first you need to choose your hard disk or installation destination media. So this is my VMware of 80 GB of hard disk. It should be different for you. If you choose a VMware, it should be as a VMware. If you choose the SSD or hard disk, there should be a name here. So I'm going to choose the RS disk. It's going to delete the current operating system, and it's going to install the Parrot OS 5.3 on my VMware. If you choose VMware or a hard disk or SSD. So these are all the available options. You can customize it on your own. If you choose the manual partitioning, it's going to give you to create a partition. So you should be having a dual operating system, and the dual operating system or a dual boot option will be available here. So that's the options available right here. So if you want to encrypt, you can encrypt your system by providing the password, which should be same in these two boxes. So that's the encryption, and here is the bootloader location. Automatically it gives the master boot record for the VMware. So if you want to do that later, you can choose the other options. It's clearly customizable. It's clearly up to you. So after clicking on next, you should be having users, which you should need to provide like a username and password. You can provide the random username, and for the password, give the strong password and remember the password. If you can't remember the password, just write it down the password in a diary or a book, something like that. So you should be good to go. So for the sake of video, I'm choosing Runboxing as the username, and for the password I'm choosing a simple password, which is 12345 in the different boxes, the same password. If everything is going good, you should be seeing a tick mark beside the boxes. I'm choosing a login automatically without asking for the password. This is the user's creation. Click on next. And here is the summary of what you chose in the previous steps, and this is the summary of what will happen after clicking on install. So it's going to take a maximum of 20 minutes if you have a low end PC. If you have a good end PC or a mid end PC, the installation process will be quick, like a 5 to 10 minutes. Completely depends on the Linux distro and the system resources. So after that time, it should having option like a finish the installation, and you should be restarting your PC. And it's to the Parrot OS 5.3 should be installed on your main PC or a work PC or a VMware, whatever the option you choose. So that's the installation process. Again, it's a good idea to always boot it in a live boot and use it for up to 2 to 3 hours. After you're satisfied without any bugs, go with the installation. I'm saying it again and again because I don't want you to ruin your PC. That's a tip from me. So that's the installation process. Let's close the installer and check out some of the features like desktop wallpapers and some of the customization options. So there is no different wallpapers, just same wallpapers available as in the previous versions. So themes, you can customize it on your own. It completely depends on you. So here is the time and date, calendar, internet connection, volume, and some of the Mac desktop environment features which are available in every Mac desktop versions. So there is nothing different here. The version is a 1.24.1. So let's check out the Synaptic package manager. It's going to take a few seconds to load up. So let's check out the version first. Synaptic 0.90.2. So I'm going to scroll it down very fast. So the installed version will be highlighted with a green box, and the installed version will be like that. I'm going to scroll it down very fast. If you want to slow down the video, you can change the settings in YouTube settings. Go to YouTube settings, go to the playback speed. The number will be 1.0. Change it to 0.25, and you should be seeing the video in a slow. So in order to check the installed version, just make the speed like that. So let's close this thing. And let's check out the pre-installed apps which comes with this Linux distro. I'm not going to open every app because it's going to take hours to make a video. So for the sake of the video, I'm just going to run through all these things quickly. So these are all the installed apps, as you can see. So these are all the things. Let's quickly go through all these things and run through everything. Cisco tools, fuzzing tools, stressing tools. There are a lot of pre-installed apps which comes with the security version or a security edition. You don't get everything in a home edition, just a few apps. So it's clearly up to you to download the security edition or a home edition. If you are into like this type of hacking things and some of the testing things, you can go with the security edition. If you are a normal user, just go with the home edition. So these are all the apps which comes pre-installed in the security edition. There are a lot of apps to test. So it's clearly up to you to use it or not, or download or not. So these are all the available apps. Automotive, reverse engineering, debuggers, decompilers, disassemblers, programming. These are all the system tools. So on the accessories, these are all the system tools. So let's just open the common apps which people use. For example, like LibreOffice and the internet. I already showed you how to download. So there is a Tor browser, Onion Share. So there is a GIMP also, VLC media player, and under the, I think I covered almost the imported apps. There is no need to open every app. So So these are all the apps which are used by every normal user in the Linux distro. Actual document viewer version is this, so let's close this and let's check the LibreOffice version. 7.4.5.1. the latest version is like a 7.5.2.2, and the version will be same in every LibreOffice. So the GIMP version is 2.10.22 and VLC is 3.0.18. So let's close this thing and open the system monitor, because I mentioned I already promised that I will going to show you the system monitor again at the end of the video. So let's check out the system resources and end the video. The CPUs are here and the RAM is almost a 1.2 GB. It was 1 GB at the beginning. It's almost a 1.2 GB, which is a 200 MB of RAM consumption after going through some of the features. I didn't open that many of apps, just opened just a few apps. So it's clearly up to you to use it or not, or download it or not. So it's up to you to judge to use this Linux distro or not. So that's the end of the video. I already posted a video because I'll be posting 2 videos daily. So the other video is already posted in the YouTube. If you want to check that out, you can check that out after watching this video. Again, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the thumbs up button. It helps make a good content for you. Other than that, I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Peace out. There's also application menu here. There's also here. So there is a 2 options. You can choose anything you want. Again, let's end the video. Thanks for watching.